have to be a perfect shape or a perfect stripe. There is no perfect in painting, right? Now, we mixed in a little bit with that red. So instead of like chancing it, let's go and just wash off that brush. Shake it off into the bucket. Comes out nice and clean. Just like that, right? Now wipe it off, go back into our white paint. We're gonna load it back up again for our 911 Seascape. This is the second time I've done this painting, right? So we had this guy come in here. You see how I purposely grab in a bit of the blue, stay down, maybe we leave a little bit of the black excess, right? Because again, it doesn't have to be a perfect straight across line. That's not what we're going for. We're going for a seascape that sort of looks like the flag. And if we can nail that just right, then it should be awesome. Remember, this painting is available for sale like all my other paintings. Everyone's available for sale in the Etsy store, paintwithjosh.etsy.com. This one's number 939, I believe. 939 in the old store. So head over there, paintwithjosh.etsy.com, and get yours today. Before anybody else does, right? So we'll come over here. We also have, I just released on TikTok, the new series. Watch, we're gonna pop a little bit up into the blue, ooh, down into the white. A little bit into the blue, down into the white. Smallest bits. Staying down in there, sort of creeping along. Maybe we hide a little bit of our red back in between our clouds, right? Very cool. But the TikTok series we were just talking about, right, is basically some of those live shows, the really popular live shows that you missed. I've taken them and downloaded them, loaded them into the TikTok series, which is a 3 to 5 to 20 part to 80 part series. You can have up to 80 video parts to make up one thing. Well, my videos aren't that long. I mean, geez, they're long, but they aren't that long, right? And so what I've done is I've loaded 2 to 3. I don't know if the third one's already posted in there yet, but 2 so far where there's a 2-parter and one's a 3-parter where you can learn how to paint. Actually, it's 4 parts. You can learn how to paint the thing from the bare canvas all the way through. If you missed how to do it on TikTok, it's over there on my TikTok page. You go to my home page and you'll see a little button that says series. And then you can buy them. They're $1.99, and I think the longer one is $4.99. So I don't know if you guys want to check them out. Check them out. Check them out. Same thing if you want to check out my Etsy store. You can go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com. Just like that. You can grab this painting before anybody else. Now I grabbed a little bit of white and a little bit of red because this, we're supposed to go white, red, white, red, white, red, right? It's supposed to stay red, so we don't need to have too much white in there, but we do sort of have to put a little bit of kind of color underneath, right? Right underneath the clouds. Doesn't all have to be perfect, but it's got to be a little stripe down there. A little bit of that reddish color. Don't want it to get too bright. Want it to stay nice and dark. Nothing too crazy, right? Nothing too nuts. Bring it over here. Retaining some of that deep darkness, all right? You get those little bit of waves out there. It looks very cool. Very cool. You guys, tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? These are some of my favorite paintings to do because you don't have to do a whole lot, right? We're really just sort of trying not to cover too much is the goal. Okay, now we have to come in with our white striper, right? Which we could do, we could pop in a little, no, we don't want to have it be too crazy, right? So let's come in with our white striper. It's going to fall over and it's going to land down in here, right? If I remember correctly, who knows? In any case, let's pop in a little mustache. Come up like that, down like that. Littlest bit, down into here. I'm going to start to slide it back very lightly, right? We don't want it to get too crazy. It's still in the red section back in there. So maybe we take a little bit of our red and darken it up a bit, right? Nothing too nuts. Don't want to have too much paint on the canvas. And we got to have a couple little details is all, little differences. The differences are what, to me, make up all the details, right? So, got our little bit of a lip back there. That's looking much better. Now we're going to come over here, loading up on the white. Wiped off all the red off the brush, loaded up the white brush, and then we're going to come in and decide, maybe we had our little rotator right over there. So we take this guy, slide it back all the way in that dark section. Now, as long as we don't have any red paint onto our brush, then it should remain very bright white as we're sliding back our little details and have our red, white, right? Because this is our white section, our next little white line. So if we slide this guy back up to its little peak each way, maybe rotate the brush over, flip it over here, and maybe we'll call our pivot point right there, right? So we'll have to take this guy and start going out longer and coming back to the same spot, down, 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 toss our little wave off that way. Very cool. Now let's go back up to the crasher, load up more paint onto the brush, wiped it off on a paper towel, came back, loaded up more onto there. Gonna touch it to the top and flow it over to the side. That's all you gotta do. Almost like there's a little rubber band that's holding back all the tension, then it lets go like that. Flies over, all right? Rotates over, come back over here, get this guy, right there, right? Very simple little thing. You're like, oh Josh, what have you done to this poor painting? All right, gonna take a little bit of our color into here. Boom. Very softly, right? Take our brush, start to push that guy right up towards the edge. That little dark separator line in there. You don't want to lose that darkness, right? Everything in this thing should be pretty white if it's going to be our white stripe until we come down into our red, right? So, with our brush, again, back to the thing, more white paint. Let's come back to, just like our little pivot point now we talked about over here. And we were going to use this brush, and then once we came back, we were going to start to go back to the same spot like a little point on a clock. So over here we have to do the same thing, taking the brush, going a little bit down, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, all retaining right on that little pivot point right there, right? And then we can start to add a bit of our front wave as it's crashing down, just with the corner, and you see it's starting to turn red. The more it mixes and the more it mixes, right? So you gotta get that white paint, get it in there, push it down through, come back in, fill it all out. Very cool, right? Very neat little thing. All depends on what you want yours to look like, right? Take a little bit more white, a little bit more white. There we go. Right in that white section, we want it to be nice and bright. Just like that, right? Now, say we came down here and we hit in that red section. So all of that stuff is gonna be red, and we're gonna start to slide our way up, 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 until we reach that last little wave that's over here that we had talked about with our pivot point. Or eventually our water's gonna be coming down like this. Very cool, guys. Maybe we'll save that for a, no, we'll bring our section out with the white a little bit more, just dragging it down. Then we'll have some red sand to be very cool. So we gotta wash this brush off though. Look, it's getting too pink. Getting too pink, so let's wash it off. You guys tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? And remember, you can buy this painting. It's, I think it's, oh, I can't even remember what it is. 230, 237? I don't even remember. Honestly, I don't even remember. Let's call it 237-ish. I think my girls should probably have put the I would imagine they would have put the cost out. That's why there's people in the Etsy store over there favoriting stuff, right? And this is version 2 of the 9/11 seascape. I have other versions. I've got the version 1. I have a Memorial Day seascape that looks like a flag. We did our 4th of July seascapes that look like flags. Those were amazing. Now let's come into here. Let's get that red on our brush. Right, because we've got to try to keep them nice and red. I'm mixing the scarlet red and the bright red from the Bob Ross set. Okay, a little bit of the white, just a touch of it. If you want to keep it red, come in here. Oh yeah, come in here like that. Just like so. Right into our red section, right? We still have those little details, but we're retaining that color. Gotta have that color of red. Flying down. Now, once we hit our dark section, now we gotta wash all this off, get back to that white, and turn that seascape into a different color right there as we go down with our little stripy stripes. So, again, tell me where you're watching from, guys. I love knowing where everyone's watching from around the world. It's really cool to see when you look back and see all these different countries and all these states in the US and different places that people are from. The UK, you have people watch from Australia, man. From Tel Aviv and Israel, everywhere. They're all over Paint with Josh fans. Paint with Josh fans are all over the world, guys. Seriously. Seriously, seriously. Let's see. All right, now, all we gotta do is add in a little bit of our white. Come in here, we're gonna continue on with our bit of watery waves as they were coming out, right? That kind of turns into our foamy section. Pull it out in different ways, but as long as we keep it white, right, it's gonna retain that little bit. And then we can very gently start to kind of fade it up into that bit of pink, right? Into that bit of red and sort of feed it in there instead of just being a harsh line. But it's gonna look very cool. Very cool, guys. Very cool. And again, the more times that you go over it and interact with it, the more times it's gonna change and start to go reddish, pinkish bit. We're gonna add a little touch of highlight onto here and then just a little off the side that way, just so we can tell, all right? Very cool. Got a little ridge over here on the side too, and kept it red and white throughout. That's really neat. Okay, now we got to come over here. It looks like we got some dark area that we need to fill in. All right, take our bit, start to slide it out. Now we have a pretty cool little seascape starting to show up, and then we'll hit our little splashy action, cover our foam, and do all that stuff. But for the meantime, let's take this about how much down, how far down do we take this color, a little bit of red in with the white, so we keep it nice and reddish, right? But in between our last color that we just put, right, this bit of white and this bit of whitish red, what's the separation that we stick in between there, right? How much is the distance? What distance are we in between those two things? Is it a 1/2 inch? Have you heard me say 3/8 of an inch before? Maybe 5/8? What's that measurement that we talk about while we're trying to do the little separator here, guys? 1/4 inch says Carrie Neal. Archery Girl said 1/4 inch too. Ooh, who said it before? Dark separator, 1/4 inch. I mean, you guys got it all over the place. Sasha Stars, Scotty O. Victoria was close with an 1/8 inch. Oh my God, you guys, I never went live on Facebook. Oh, I never hit the button to go live on Facebook. Oh, I just shouldn't have gone live. Oh, I might have to delete that stream now. Did this whole thing in 15 minutes, by the way. We've done this whole thing in 15 minutes. That's insane, firstly. And I forgot to hit the button to stream to Facebook. I'm sorry, Facebook guys, if you're just tuning in. You know, it looked good. It looked like, you know, how it shows you the screen. I thought I was live, but I wasn't live, and I just figured it out just now. So, now you guys tell me, do we use a little bit of pressure or a lot of bit of pressure as we're coming down with our little swipes down there like that? Let me know. And I'm sorry again, Facebook people. I've got the video over on YouTube. You can go check it out over on YouTube. I don't know why it didn't go live. We got a lot of pressure, says Archery Girl. Let's see. A lot, says Scotty O. Peanut Brittle says a lot of pressure. A little bit, says Rain. We can do another, says Don Jovi. That's funny. Let's see. A little bit, says Adria Gray, right? Well, if we did a little bit, it would look kind of chunky. So what we would need to do is come and do a lot of pressure, right? Pull it off of the canvas, getting our easel nice and dirty. And now, do we pull it one way or the other? We have to do both, right? So do we pull it away from the wave and then towards, or towards the wave and then away first? Which one do we do first? I was going to say I'm going to wash this brush off, but I'll probably end up using that color anyway. So what are we going to do first? We're going to pull away, says Carrie Neal. Archery Girl says away. M. Vic says away. Away then toward. Victoria says away. Towards the wave, says Rosetta. Away first, then towards. Pull, then push, says Scotty O. Hey, amazing, says LJ Hilarious over on Facebook. I sort of forgot to hit the button and go live on Facebook, which is why, even though we're only 15 minutes into the painting, well, 17 minutes into it now, it's nearly done. So, speaking of everybody over on TikTok who's saying pull away from the wave first, you guys are correct. We're going to take all of our vertical swipes and pull them into horizontal swipes, right? And that way, it's going to look more like sand. And now, we've got this choppy little dark separator in here, right? So what we start to do is we start to slide our bit right up underneath, leaving it as small as you want to leave it, right? That little bit, it like raises the water up so it can glide back and forth across the sand. It's really cool. Really cool little technique. And the closer you get, the smaller the level of the water is, right? Awesome. All right, let's come back in here. What 3 colors do we normally use to make up a giant amount of shadow color as I mix them right here on the brush? What 3 colors do we use? And don't be gross, just tell me the colors that we use. Let's see if we can get some comments over here on TikTok. What 3 colors make up this really dark, it's almost black, but it's a really dark purpley color. Do you guys know which 3? Crimson, black, and blue says chaotic tree thing. I'm trying to get your comment pinned. Let's see. Pin this comment. There we go. Perfect. Crimson, black, and blue. You are correct, right? Now, what we're going to do is come up, connecting to our dark separator, which started way over here in between those 2 colors, underneath our wave, all the way up underneath, all this little space that separates everything, right? So we come up and we start slapping into it like this, up into the white, though. Not down into the eye, covering the eye. We're slapping up into it like you're going to grab your honey's bum. Like, a little squeeze right in the kitchen, right? Over there like that. And we come up and we smack in, and you start coming down, and falling down and getting all this stuff in here. That's all you have to do. Honestly, that's it. It's a little bit of craziness, a little bit of splash, a little bit of misty, foamy nutsness that shot off of our seascape and landed down here, right? All those little broken bits of water. Now, let's wash off that dark brush because we're not going to need it anymore. So we wash that guy off, shake him out. Let's load it back up with some liquid white. Now, who knows what liquid white is? Does anybody out there know, in the comments land, what liquid white is, actually? What is it? What is liquid white? Anybody? Ew. I think I need a new Petri dish here soon. This one's getting gross. So, let's see if anybody had it right. In the comments, very, very, very thin white paint, says Rain Howlett. That's very true, it is. A very, very thin, liquidy, runny paint. It's very runny, like milk. If you tipped it over the jar, it would literally pour out, it would spill out, right? So, this is the Bob Ross liquid white that we use, and it tends to get all over the jar, hence why we wear gloves. But you need that liquid white. It's an oil blending medium, okay? And what does that mean? Oh, Josh, what are you getting all technical for? An oil blending medium means that it stays wet on the canvas and allows us to blend our oils easier than trying to put the thick oil on top of the thick oil. It also thins it down, and that way it comes off our brush easier. You can see it's slightly a different texture than it was before. It's not so thick. And so we come up here and we start our little trembles. We're like, oh no, right? All we're doing is like, I don't even know what is this? It's like almost like if you had chopsticks, right? You pick something up and you went to turn it towards your mouth, right? That's almost the angle. So we're holding the brush kind of like that with our chopsticks out here, right? And we're just sort of flicking at the thing right above the darkness, and you start leaving little splashes of white, and they all start turning into just 1,000 broken little bits of water, right? Right on top. All these things start breaking up. Now, we're going to have to hit it a little bit harder with the brush as we come down, harder and harder, but not full smack. You know what I mean? You have to judge what it looks like based off how hard we're hitting it. And then remember, we're going to take it and mix it all up anyway. So once we get down to the bottom, this is where our free-for-all spot. You don't give two nothings about what happens over here because it's not going to look like that, right? Initially, when we did our 2022 9/11 seascape, was it 22 or 21? I can't remember when we did it. It might have been 2021. But when we did it, we left it just like that because that's how I used to paint water 2 years ago or even a year ago. That's how we used to paint the water, right? We would leave it looking just like that. And actually, it looks really neat. It does look cool, but ends up looking cooler the way that we do it now versus the way that we did it then. So it's kind of a trust the process moment. We're going to take this and we're going to mix it. We're going to do what we just did twice, mixing it up in between each time, right? So we're going to take our brush right out here. Doesn't matter if it's a clean brush or a dry brush because we're going to make a clean or a dirty brush because we're going to make it so much dirtier. Bang. There's our first go, right? We turn the white with the black into a very deep gray. Okay, now those are our shadows. Now we're going to come with our first layer of highlights. So we need a little bit more of that liquid white. A little bit more. Come into the same pile. Just dab it in, get it real gross all over each side. Come back to where we didn't touch it. Start slapping it again for round two. But this time we're not going to do as many. We're not going to touch it as many times this time, right? Maybe one right there. But what do we do? Even though we've smashed all that bit, and we did it the first time too, I just didn't ask you, right? But what do we leave in between all those little bits of white out there? What do we leave? What's that word that Josh talks about all the time? That little word that we talk about when we're like, oh yeah, the thing. It's got like 3 syllables. 4? Hang on. 5 syllables that we're looking for. What's that little word called? Yeah, what do we leave in between all those little bits? Little dark shadows, that works. Dark shadows, dark separator is the word we're looking for. 5 syllables, dark separator, right? So even though we've just smushed it all again, we've left a couple little areas of darkness. Now we're going to go over it with very light pressure, not trying to disturb it as much as we just did. See the difference? Remained a little bit whiter. If we would have used the same pressure or pushed harder, it would have blended it away into that darker color. Right? Now, if there's any excess little sections where you really want to have a bit of detail, Now's the time to come in, but don't do too many, Josh. My goodness, right? Don't want to do too many. You can get in trouble that way. Over there, a couple little bits. Ba-boom! Right now we're going to throw paint at it. That's the funnest part. Gotta get that paint. Gotta throw it right at the canvas. Just perfectly. Right, but we don't want to do it with this big brush. You know what I found with the big brushes? Is that when you whip the paint and like flick it off the side of the easel, the side of your palette like that, that with the big brushes, it flicks out like long streaks. You know what I mean? It holds too much in the brush and then flicks out a long little streak. And so what we want is a little mini fan brush. Little teeny tiny little guy, right? This is the GAC Doctor size 2. So I think this is the smallest one that comes in the set. The size 2. Now we're gonna take our liquid white, right there, gonna pull it out. Oh, I've even got a little bit of old liquid white out there on the side right here. And all we're gonna do is drag through it at the canvas, right? So we put our easel, our palette up close, and we start flicking it and moving in the shape that we want the spray to go. Now as we drag our brush, you know, and we're pushing it through, it's bending the bristles back, and then after they pass the threshold, they flick forward and shoot paint, and we're gonna do it, you know, 10, 20, 30 times and get as many little splashes as you want. Same thing we can do for the stars, right? So we come in here and you just start throwing paint. I didn't put enough paint. Gotta have enough paint out there if you want it to come off of your brush. There we go. A little bit like that. Now, chuck it right there. Start getting all these little bits and action. My brush might be too loaded. There we go. All this action that starts flying out, right? There we are. Bam, 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 bam. All these little bits. You can go everywhere. You can throw as many as you want. They're coming out of the barrel. They're coming away from here. They're shooting off this way. And then up into the sky, pop them out like that. Bang. That's a very cool little scene, guys. Now, in order to make it the 9/11 scene versus just any other regular old, you know, American flag seascape scene that Josh has done before, we need to add the tower lights. Now, I wasn't necessarily happy with the very first time that we did the tower lights on our very first scene a couple years ago. I wasn't really perfectly happy with them. So this time we're going to try to do them a little bit better. I'm going to try to do them a little thinner and, I don't know, a little bit different shape maybe. We're going to work on it. So, you guys start coming up with a name for this painting right now. Start typing it in the comments below. What do you want this painting to be called, right? You should obviously have to do something with 9/11, I would imagine. And I'm glad that I said that because I almost forgot. I almost forgot to do this bit. One of the fans a couple years ago did a version of my painting, and in his little eye bits, you know how you have the little pieces in here where you kind of rotate back? He did a 9, guys, and it looked really cool. So I'm gonna try to do that. All right, we're gonna go down like that. Maybe we'd have another little section. I don't want it to be perfect, but I'm gonna rock in 9/11 right here. Looks like it would be in the wave, right? Some sort of something, and then, dang, guys, all right, that's cool, right? And they're not, when you look at them, they're not going to look like the thing, you know, the details of a wave. You're gonna see the 9/11 in there, and that's gonna be neat. That's gonna be neat. Just slide it up, cleaning up the bottom, very lightly going across these guys. So soft. Bang. It'll only be for somebody who didn't watch the show and didn't see that me put the 9/11 in there. That's who that one's for. Very cool. All right, now let's wash that old liner brush off. Come over here and then let's pop in the old signature down here in the sand. And we'll start to thank everybody for watching. This was a crazy quick show. Like, I mean, I've done the scene before, but geez, I didn't know I was gonna do it that fast. I wasn't even trying to rush. Wasn't trying to rush at all. So, it'll be over on my YouTube page. I don't want to spend too much time hanging out like we always do, because then I never come back and paint later. So, this painting is available for sale on my Etsy store. If you want to get it, it's paintwithjosh.etsy.com. And you can head over there and grab it at your convenience. if you wait too long, don't blame me if it's not there when you go to get it, okay? Some of the times they go fast. So I don't even know if this one's even still available. It might have already sold. Whenever I do the show with all three of my phone, or my two phones, my iPad, all my devices, I don't know if it's sold. I can't get messages from anybody, nothing. It's just, I'm up here blind. So, very cool the way that it turned out, though. I really like that. And again, we've done them so many times that apparently the more time you do it, the better, the faster you get. Don't I always say that to you guys? Practice makes better, right? All right, let's see. Over there, over there, pop, 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 pop. All right, what do you guys got for names on this old painting here that's brand new? I don't know why I say that every time. Look at this old guy. It's brand new. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I just painted it just now. So, let's see what we got for names from the gallery. Names from the gallery. I think I lost the 9. I lost the 9er. I want that to be recognizable. You know what I mean? And I don't want it to be perfect either. Definitely don't want it to be perfect, but I want it to be there. Because it wasn't there on the first one, and I was kind of bumming that somebody else had thought of that. I had the worst panic moment of all time. I just dropped my palette knife, and you guys know how sharp those palette knives are. And I watched it as it fell down towards my untoed shoes, where my toes are, like this, and it was falling down towards the tip of my toes with this very sharp little point. So I had to take like a, but it didn't hit my toe. It's okay. We'll survive. We will survive. We will survive. Now, let's see, as far as those tower lights and what we were gonna do, and choosing the proper brush to do them. Now, I just want to get a little bit of white out on the brush, littlest bit, just on a little fan brush like that. And then we're gonna pop in those old tower lights out here. Just as straight as we can get them to. Almost the same way we do like a tree off in the distance, right? Pull them down like that. These ones are much thinner than the other ones, which I like. I didn't like how thick the other ones were. Gotta be straight up and down, and then we can go back in. We can fix the clouds. No worries. No worries on the clouds. We'll come in here. Just with that corner of the brush, like that, right? We'll come out, sort of adjusting where the edges of our little clouds were. Take away the bottom. Got a very cool little thing. Now, it's almost not bright enough. I don't want them to be super bright, but I want it to be, I want it to stand out at least. There we go. Yeah? What do you guys think? You guys like it? Think it should be taller? I kind of like it. The other ones were a little, I mean, they were a little taller. A little bit taller. I'm not trying to match them perfectly, but the lights also don't go all the way up into space either, so you can't have them go all the way up, but I think that's pretty cool. They're both pretty evenly spaced apart, pretty even at the top, and for doing them with a fan brush, freehand, you know what I mean? They're pretty good. I'd call it good. There we go. I like you. Oh, I like you. Best part about it is the more that you want it to, like the more that you mess up, the more all you got to do is just push a little bit thicker, push a little bit harder, and it'll start to grow. I like that though, different heights, same height up here. All the stars in the sky, got the 9/11 down there, looks very neat. Now let's throw the old family in and we'll get up on out of here. You guys got to give me a name for this painting. I haven't heard anybody say a name yet. Has anyone said any names yet? Because I haven't heard it. I have not heard your guys' title suggestions yet. Let's see. Where did we put the family in the first? I don't even have my reference photo to look at. I guess we're going to have to put them. Can't put them in the white section. Obviously, we won't be able to see them. If they're the same color. Maybe right in here is going to be the best place. Sneak them right in there. Little babies. Little babes. Far away. Far away, little birdies. There we go. Dig it. It's done. What do we got for names, guys? What do we got for those old names? This, that, wipe this off. There we go. All right. Let's... Tribute for the name. That's a good one. Waves of Freedom. I dig that one too. That's very cool. Fallen Tears. Remembrance. Excellent names. Excellent names all around. Let Freedom Roll. I dig that. I dig that one. Remember, guys, if you're watching over on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. Not Forgotten. Waves of Freedom. Free Wave of Freedom. Those are all great titles. Unbroken. Tribute Beach. Never Forgotten. Our Light Will Never Fail. I like all those, guys. This one sold? Hey, who bought it then? Because they're the one that gets to name it. If it did sell, we gotta end one of these streams anyway, just to finish. So let's choose a name. Oh, that's very cool, Kathy Anderson. 2.hour. Fallen. That's cool. I like that name. Thank you guys for all the likes over on YouTube. Thanks for all the love over on Facebook. And I believe someone said it sold. One of my mods said it sold. It was Airy Fairy Face said it sold. We don't know who it sold to, but apparently it sold. So let's title it something to do. I like the Fallen, right? Always remember, never forget. I dig that. Nostalgic Light. I dig that as well. Let's see. Yes, 9/11 is today. That's why we did this seascape on 9/11. Just so happened to line up with one of my Monday Night Madness shows. Waves of 9/11, Fallen Sea, Freedom Falls, Freedom Tears. Kylie says, hey. Mr. Crab says, Pride of the Brave. I like that one too. Waves of the Fallen. That's a cool title. Waves of the Fallen. The Sea of the Never Forgotten. Let's see. Sea of Memories. Remembrance Shore. I dig that one too. Wave of Tears. Our Hearts Bleed American. Yes, Kylie, you missed it. We started with a blank canvas and we did a 9/11 seascape that we're now trying to come up with a title for, right? So we have 9/11 sort of messily written into the foamy bits of our water. Remembrance Shore is nice. Yeah, we want to know who bought it. Who bought the thing, because they really get to name it. So, you know, I'm going to have to end one of the streams. So, and check the store to see who bought it and then message them. So, let's say goodbye to, let's just say Facebook. I think I can get to my store through that device. So thank you for tuning in, Facebook, and watching. I love every single one of you guys over there. You're my largest audience, 575,000 people over on Facebook. You guys are amazing. So I know the stream didn't start. I forgot to hit the button before we started like an idiot, but it is going to be available over on YouTube. So as soon as we finish the live will process, if you actually want to move over to YouTube right now, just go over to youtube.com/paintwithjosh, and it'll be one of the first things in the live, underneath that live tab. So head over there, check it out, and then I have to end one of these things so we can see who bought this painting. So love you, everybody on Facebook, and we'll see you later. See you guys later. Bing. I love the little sound it makes. Okay, let's come over here. Let's do this and post now. We need this. There we go. Thank you for the little gifts. I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so we did this one. It's available over on YouTube. So head over to YouTube and check it out. We're actually still streaming live over there right now. I just got to see who purchased the painting right there. And it is... I know that guy. I know it. So... I wonder if he's still around. I never like saying people's real names because I never know what their names are outside of social media, you know what I mean? Like, or what their screen name is, and I don't want to give their real name if they're going by their screen name. So, oh man, that is nice. I talk for so long and then my mouth gets so dry. All right, let's see if we can message the buyer and see if he can give us a title. So, again, anybody still watching over on YouTube, I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out. This is normally the background bits of the show that you never get to see, that we just show on TikTok. And the only reason we show them on TikTok is because they disappear immediately after the stream is over. So we can be silly and have fun and mess around and, you know, do all the fun paint with Josh stuff that we like to do. There we go. So let's see if we got a message back. If not, I'm going to choose the name and then we'll just end the streams, right? If I do want to come back later on and paint, the quicker I end the stream, the more likely I am to come back. I almost want to do that Liquitex recycled canvas. I painted it black with the Liquitex gesso, so it's Liquitex on Liquitex. And I really want to do like another, like a purpley seascape or a lighthouse or a stormy lightning crashing ocean or maybe some small little waves. Who knows? I love painting the water. So I love painting the water so much. All right, let's spin the camera around on TikTok here so I can see your guys' comments. Just like that. Right over here, guys. Welcome. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, is it Randy? It is Randy Marsh, isn't it? Randy, just confirm. Give me your first and the two initials of your first and last name, like first and first, because I already know what they are. I'm pretty sure I remember your name is Randy. And I love it because it's South Park. You want me to name it? Okay, you guys hit me with the names because Randy wants me to name the painting, which means any one of your names can be there. Yeah, I got you, Randy. I know it's you. Okay, moment of silence. I like that. We did a full minute of silence in the beginning. Home of the 343. I dig that. Let's see. Never Forgotten. Waves of Our Heroes. Roll on America. Memory Crash. Never Forget. Rooting for Remembrance Shore, people are saying. I like that. It's kind of neat. I dig that. I don't know who said it first, though. Hey, private jet, baby. Woo! That reminds me of my old days. You guys don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about that. All right, if everyone likes Remembrance Towers, I dig that. Could call it Freedom Lights. You know what I mean? I really like the clouds. Because, you know, like it's not supposed to be a perfect flag. Let's see. The Fallen's Gift. I like that. That's very cool. Moment of Silence. Let's go with Remembrance Shores. I like that. That was a good title. Good title. I don't know who said it initially, and I always feel bad when I don't remember who said it initially because the point of it is to give that person credit for shouting or, you know, for naming the painting, so we give them a shout out and stuff. Don't know who it was. I'm sorry. Maybe one of the girls can go back and pin that very first original Remembrance Shores. I'm sure it's 1,000 comments away, so don't overdo it. It's 9:39 today. And we're going to call it, what do we say again? Remembrance Beach, right? Is that what we were saying? Randy says it's approved. Oh my God, can someone just spell it so I don't look like an idiot? It's not Brantz, no. Brantz, that's what it is. Remembrance Shores, right? By Blah Panda, that's the correct spelling. Remembrance. B-R-A-N-C-E, right? I'm pretty sure. Remembrance Shorts, right? Remembrance Shorts. Got it. Remembrance Shorts. We're there. We're there on 9/11 of 2023. And remember, guys, we're all going to go to paintwithjosh.com to find all the sites, all the stores, all the places that I am. You guys can be there too if you come over to paintwithjosh.com and check out what we've got going on over there. Let's line it exactly back up on the easel, right where it was, right? No, not over there. It was about there, I would imagine. Just about perfect. Boop. So we'll get this one in the drying kiln, which is just my hot, dry garage in Las Vegas. And I almost forgot we're still streaming to YouTube. Oh, what if I would have started talking crap about my own YouTube channel? No, never. Never. So, well, I love you guys. I'll say goodbye to the people over on YouTube first. And if you don't come hang out with us over on TikTok, I don't know what you're doing. It's like we're on TikTok all the time. So, I love you guys. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And bow. Right on 9/11. What a perfect little painting we did.